Hey guys, it's Jacob for Starfighters Arcade. It's that time of the year once again where I give you a full arcade tour of the year. I wanted to do this a little differently. I did want to do it live, but we don't have the ability to go live on our channel just yet. But I figured I should still go with this unedited vloggy style video, and I'll probably throw in a bit of commentary during it. So if that sounds good with you, I'll just get this flipped, and away we go. First thing that most people will see is Jason and Oculus aboard. These usually scare the kids all the time. Then we got our other figures right here, Godzilla, Shogun Warriors. And this is where you would pay admission. But we also got our candy and whatnot. A nice selection. Do we have any pinballs? No, doesn't look like it right now. We got some other memorabilia and some more Godzilla here. Looking pretty nice so far. Of course, our Bill and Ted telephone booth. As some should know, Bill and Ted was filmed right here in Arizona. Wonder Woman, not so much. Got some more memorabilia right here. Some blasters, Spaceman. Of course, 8-track player. But I'm sure most of y'all want to see some arcades. Well, here we go. Some Mario Brothers. Also got toys on all of our Nintendo cabs. Donkey Kong. Somebody left their game running. Donkey Kong Jr. right next to it. Our nice Galaga neon sign there. Our Play Choice 10 machine. It's been down for a good while, unfortunately. We'll hopefully get that back up soon. Popeye. Underrated. At least in my opinion. Nintendo sign. Plus some plaques and awards. Have some more 8-track players. These sure look pretty. More memorabilia right here. $6 Million Man, Dungeons and Dragons. All the good stuff only at Starfighters Arcade. Fright Night poster. Notice anybody from the 80s and maybe even the 70s. Do love Elvira around here. Got some DDR going in here. This room has changed a lot. It used to be just arcade machines, but now we moved in a good majority of our pins. Star Wars Episode 1 is down at the moment. Got quite a clog right there. It should be an easy fix. Ice cold beer. That one usually goes down and it is out of order temporarily. It is a pain to keep this one up, I can assure you that. Tutankhamun. That's Adventure. Anyone seen our Arcade Spotlight video, I would recommend it. We just recently got in a new display. Looks like we already put in a vintage skateboard. We have this popcorn machine right here. We are open tonight from 3 o'clock to 7, or I should say till midnight, till New Year's. Letting some people go by. Got Ned playing some Dr. Dude right here.
Dude.
And coming right back out. There's some proper DDR going. Still have more vintage memorabilia. And of course our long line of vinyl leading right into the proper arcade. Got some Spy Hunter going on. Outrun right next to it. Outrun Turbo. Afterburner. Space Harrier. Our pole position right here, which has been down for a little bit, but we'll hopefully get it back up in no time at all. Of course, we have even more vinyl adorning the walls. Everywhere you look, you're possibly going to find one or several albums that you might have listened to in the past. Got some Tetris right here. Zaxxon. Space Fury. I do love me some Vectors personally. Got some Golden Axe going on here. And of course, the classic Frogger. We got some pinball over here. Firepower, Flash Gordon, Xenon, Barracora, 8-Ball Deluxe, probably our most vintage pinballs that we have in the arcade. My personal favorites are Xenon and Firepower out of all these. Very good pinball machines. Now I would argue this is probably our most popular section right here. We got some Galaga, classic. Galaxian right next to it. The predecessor to Galaga. I'm having a bit of a struggle on which one I favor the most. I'm probably going to say this one only because I'm trying to get the high score at it, and I am getting better. Need I say more? It's Pac-Man, of course. Ms. Pac-Man right next to it. You're good. Both of these machines have fast mode. The only one that doesn't is this Pac-Man, which is really Pac-Man Plus. Or I could be mistaken. Hold on. Excuse me. This is Pac-Man Plus, and that's the other Pac-Man. These two are on fast mode. We just don't have the marquee to signify that this is Pac-Man Plus, but you can tell by the little soda pop and other different bonuses that come up in that game. Plus, it's the green maze, as you can see. Satan's Hollow. A very interesting game, one that you'll definitely not find everywhere else. Burger Time. Another classic of the 80s. We have all the best, including Tron here. Do love how that purple light works. We got Gorf here. You got Space Invaders Deluxe. And I would say that's our Bally Midway section right here. Hello. And of course, can't forget about the pinballs. Iron Maiden. John Carpenter's Halloween right here. My personal favorite pinball, Indiana Jones. I got about like 600 million on that game. Here's a recent edition, Foo Fighters. Still need to make a new recruit on that. The new Stern Star Wars pin's been out for a little while. Monster Bash right here. Elvira Party Monsters just went down tonight, as a matter of fact. But we'll have it back up, just the right flippers having issues. Now this is probably the toughest section of the arcade because it has all the tough games like Space Ace. One of Don Bluth's animated classics. And I'm not just talking about the movies. Dragon's Lair 2. Took a while to come out. Some people thought it should have stayed in development hell. You know who you are. And of course, our Dragon's Lair, signed by Gary Goldman and Don Bluth themselves when they came by a long time ago with so many good memories. And we got the two Godlead machines right here, Cuber and Mad Planets. Everybody should know my good friend Jody can play a heck of a good Cuber game. He's also a good Mad Planets player. By the time he's done with Mad Planets, his arm is severely injured. We don't only have vinyl on the wall, we also got vintage comic books from all corners of the universe. The comic book universe, that is. So many different titles. So many good comics. And of course, the Williams sections. You got Defender, Sinistar going on here. Beware, he lives. Robotron has seen better days. Usually it boots up like this. It would come out of it by now. Probably I'll have to turn it off later. Moon Patrol. Of course, Joust. Marquee, still probably one of the best you'll ever see. The game's pretty good too. More Elvira love, Scared Stiff right there. And the latest, House of Horrors. We really pride ourselves on our new Stern machines like Avengers, Infinity Quest, and Godzilla. There's more Godzilla love on the other side of the arcade that we'll get to in a bit. But first, let's share some Atari love. We got Paperboy, Crystal Castles. Probably one of the few arcade games that have an ending. And can't have an arcade without Centipede and Millipede right next to each other. It only makes sense. And of course, Dig Dug. I'm saying of course a lot. If anybody's taking notes, tell me how many times I've said it, please. I want to know. All the vinyl you can ask for. You literally spend the whole day just looking around. We got Tempest, Classic Vector, and Missile Command, which we just brought back to the floor. Fun fact, these two games were developed by the same person. I'm forgetting the name at the moment, but both of these games came to the developer in a dream. Not at the same time, separately of course. But it's just scary to think. Dreamed of nuclear annihilation and just going down some vector pits. Return of the Jedi right here. Definitely need to bring back the Vector classic Star Wars. Miss that game. 720s, not doing too hot at the moment. Tried to reboot this a little bit earlier, but still has not shown any sign of life. The very rare Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. I say it's like Gauntlet in a futuristic sense, kinda, sorta. It's an alright game. Last couple pinballs here. Creature from the Black Lagoon and Metallica. I definitely like me, my Creature. We do have the Atari System 1 machines right here, but we're having a electrical problem with this wall that we'll hopefully try and get resolved. But for the time being, people can still, our customers I should say, can still play some good pinball like Jackpot, Getaway, Funhouse, and if I can zoom in right there, Revenge from Mars. Let's see if I can circle back and get a good angle. This room's usually crowded because of Guitar Hero, Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, Alien Extermination, our 4-player Hydro Thunder, which we just got the 4th one working again. So now people can enjoy the chaos of 4-player Hydro Thunder, which is very nice. I'm sure you know who that is. Crazy Taxi. One of my favorite pins in the back. Riverboat Gambler. Co-owner Steve's Pride and Joy. Space Shuttle. And Gorgar going on here. I believe these kids love the camera. I'm gonna make a hasty retreat so I don't get any copyright matches on the music. Now let's see if I can get a good view on Revenge from Mars over here. One of the 2 Pinball 2000 machines that we have at the arcade. The other one was episode 1, which is still currently down. Funhouse is another favorite of mine. If you remember from the new Recruits video, Rudy's voiced by Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, or at least one of the creators. Moving right along, we got Tron Legacy, the pinball machine. Another personal favorite pinball, Circus Voltaire. Always love sticking it to the ringmaster when I can. But it's definitely tougher to do it with one hand. Well, I tried. Munsters. The Shadow. I would say that's underrated. But it has a cool gimmick in the battlefield here. Black Knight, Sword of Rage. We definitely need to get the other Black Knights in here. That would make a good set. Over on the corner, we got Arabian Nights. Terminator 2. F-14 Tomcat. Baywatch. One of our latest additions, Guns N' Roses Not in This Lifetime. You winning?
I haven't started playing someone else's game that's going on.
Oh, yeah?
For some reason, it kept trying again. It did it like over and over
I see.
and over again, so I was just letting it go.
Yeah. I think it wants a little play, that's why you gotta, let it go.
Still stuck up on the guitar. What's that? That ball's still stuck up on the guitar. No, but the funny thing is when it came down,
Our massive 7-Eleven machine here. It's kind of dark in this section. A couple of these machines went down earlier this afternoon. Alien is usually a piece of work. Looks like they're getting a lot of TLC with this one. Lord of the Rings went down. Same problem as Elvira, right flipper, but that should be an easy fix when our pinball people get in here. Got Swords of Fury. My voice is cracking. The X-Files is another piece of work to maintain. Usually a ball gets stuck somewhere in there. Pinball Magic, another personal favorite of mine. Capcom pins are just so unique in my opinion. Just gotta love them. Another latest edition, Doctor Who. We just brought this one back. Gave it a nice facelift, in a sense. Gotta love that blue LED going on there. Another latest edition, this Godzilla machine, based off the terrible 90s film. Still a unique pin though. Attack from Mars. The updated edition, not the original. Medieval Madness. Another great pin. Star Trek. Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll come back to all the rest, but here is our very, very latest Fathom. I have yet to know all there is to know about this particular machine, but when I do, you will see the new Recruits video. Looks like somebody left it going. Give it a little playthrough, why not? And I almost got the ball stuck. That's an achievement in and of itself. Our other Capcom machine, Airborne. So many wireframe ramps. It's amazing how they come up with some of this stuff sometimes. Addams Family, the poster child for how to sell a game and how to make it well. And that the success of Addams Family led to Twilight Zone and all its unique features that it has. Here's another underrated gem, Stargate. Doesn't look like it has a lot going for it, but I assure you it does. Who wants their MTV? I know I do. We just added this guy here too. All the many gaming gems. Handhelds of the era. All right next to Baby Pac-Man. One of a few arcade and pinball combos. Smash TV. Much like Robotron or Black Widow, twin stick shooters. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. One of the few light gun games that we got. Area 51 is the other. I don't know about you, but I think we really need some more light gun shooters. We used to have House of the Dead and Carnival. I would definitely like Time Crisis to come to the arcade. Punch Out. Way before Mike Tyson put his name on it and made it the staple series that it was. It first came to the arcade, and it was pretty good. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Mortal Kombat 4. If you're wondering where all the fighting games are, here they are. We not only have the popular, but we also have the unique, like Darkstalkers. Then R-Type just sitting all alone by itself. Still a good game, though. Got Ghouls and Ghosts here. Probably one of the toughest games ever made. And Berserk. Solar Fox. If you had never played this one, I would highly recommend it. Fast-paced. Give your arm a good workout. Arkanoid. You ever played Breakout and wanted power-ups? Well, this is it. Crossbow we just added in here. Scramble was here originally, but the monitor just went down. Crossbow is back for a little while even. Track and Field. Mashing them buttons. No pencil trick allowed in this arcade. Mr. Do. One of the better clones ever released. Most people will say it's a clone of Dig Dug, but it's still its own kind of game. Does enough differently. Now this Gyrus, if you never played this game, oh man, I would say it's the best succession from Galaxian to Galaga to Gyrus. Not made by Namco or Bally Midway, but if you still love your space shooters and want the next step, this is it. Probably the highest praise I could put on a machine. Back to the pinball machines. We have AC/DC, hell ain't a bad place to be. Ghostbusters. Star Trek The Next Generation. Whitewater. Cactus Canyon, the remake. Very good pin, I like this one. Batman 66. Heavy Metal. And Jurassic Park. Out of these three, I definitely like Heavy Metal the most. Also another game that doesn't seem to have much going for it. But when you find out where the points lie and where the jams are, you'll love it. Over in here is where you can find soda machine and have a nice good view of everything. Also got a bowling game, and this gentleman still rocking out right next to our Burger King sign. Whole lot of memorabilia on the wall. Marlboro light up sign. Let's go back this way real quick just to look at the arcade machines. Asteroids Deluxe. Right next to its predecessor, Asteroids. Lunar Lander. Been down for a good long while, but I hope we can bring it back to life one of these days. Star Castle, one of the more tougher vector games. Space Duel. Next step from Asteroids, I would say 2-player or 1-player. All fun. Gravitar here is probably the toughest vector machine that we have. Between Star Castle and Gravitar, but I would say Gravitar is the toughest. And as I mentioned already, Black Widow. Another twin stick shooter. And then Michael Jackson's Moonwalker right here. Definitely not in its proper cabinet, but we just have it in the Sky Cruiser Dia Hero cabinet at the moment. I think it's a perfect way to celebrate the King of Pop, in video game form anyway. And make our way back. See Battlezone right here. Vector tank game. So realistic for the time, the United States government commissioned their own version of a game for a specific tank. I forget which one at the moment. We got some more vintage memorabilia up top. And then our earliest game that we have right here, U-Boat. Can't really see much in the attract mode, but it's an electromechanical game. Definitely a unique game that you will not find anywhere else. I know a lot of people enjoy looking at our swatches. We have a big one right here, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is also exactly like that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right on the money. And right between the restrooms, we have our Gauntlet 1 and 2 machines with an Asteroids neon sign. We just got this commissioned in the last year or so. Then we're back right where we started, right at the front. We can buy some chips, other merchandise. You can also win some prizes during our Friday questionnaire. Of course, I cannot forget, we got many drinks. Many drinks. We'll definitely refill on the waters. Drinks, candy, games, everything that you could ever want, right here at Starfighters Arcade. Well, that about does it. I hope everybody had a great time as I guided you through the full arcade tour for 2023. I almost thought I wasn't going to make this video as I've been pretty sick the last few days, but I pulled through and I hope you guys stuck around. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Can you imagine? It's almost been 10 years since we've been open? Wow. And I've had the honor to work here for about 9 years, and I want to thank all of you on behalf of the Starfighter staff for watching these videos, for coming to our establishment, and possibly having the most fun you'd ever have in Arizona. I know that's saying a lot, but you saw the proof inside, and there's definitely going to be more to come. And hey, if you're not doing anything right now as this video goes up, we are open through New Year's, so if you don't have anything better to do, come down to Starfighters. We have popcorn, we have trivia, we have competitions, and I think we're kicking off the festivities as fireworks are going along. So thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you here.